Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to an all-new edition of War Week Radio. Guys, we're going to be getting the Gogue's big fight preview for this Saturday night's main event between Vasyl Lomachenko and Nicholas Walters. Going to be televised on HBO, and it's going to be staged at the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas in Las Vegas, Nevada, and it's going to be held for Lomachenko's W.A.W. Super Featherweight title at 130 pounds. Guys, to help us break down and analyze this matchup, we're going to be speaking to three-decade fight trainer, the one and only Mr. James Gogue. James, how are you doing this evening, sir?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing great.
Now, I tell you what, brother, it's a really interesting fight coming up this Saturday night. Do you expect to see something, extraordinary? Do you think it's going to be a little more entertaining than the pound-for-pound matchup that we just saw on HBO pay-per-view, Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev?
Without a doubt. You got guys that are not going to tie each other up, wrestle each other, hug each other, and kiss each other on both sides of the cheek, like Andre Ward and Kovalev were doing the other night. You're going to see guys that are highly skilled in the pocket, okay, unlike Kovalev. Unlike Andre Ward, you're going to see guys that sit there, not tie each other up, grab and kiss each other and wrestle with each other. You're going to see them, exchange beautifully with combinations creatively thrown by both fighters, to the body and head and body. But, one thing Lomachenko's got the advantage is the footwork, his ability to move in, move in circles real fast and move at angles. To keep you off balance, but when they get down and dirty in the pocket, you're going to see technical proficiency, technical world-class skill at the highest level in the pocket. Okay, unlike Ward and Kovalev, where they're pretty much limited dimensions on the way they fight. Just at long range, they're effective, but when you get in close, they're not aesthetically pleasing or technically skilled as these two guys are. Joe, this is a fight, a real fight, a real high skill level fight. Walters was supposed to fight Lomachenko back then, but fighters these days, he overpriced himself out, and Aram goes, okay, you don't want to fight, you'll sit, and that's what happened. And guess what? I guess he's broke. So the second time they came around, he offered him to fight again, and he took it.
Well, I tell you what, for the good of the fans, thank goodness he took it, because, guys, this has the potential of being one of the best fights of the year. The style matchup, and Gogue's going to explain why this will more than likely be a very aesthetically pleasing fight, as well as being a very high-level, elite-level technical matchup. So, guys, let's rattle off the tell the tape for the defending champion, Vasyl Lomachenko, from the Ukraine. He comes into the ring, the WBO Super Featherweight champion. He is coming into the ring at age 28. He fights out of the southpaw stance, although it's very difficult to tell at times with his footwork. He stands 5'6" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 65.5-inch reach. Originally from the Ukraine, he now trains and resides out of Oxnard, California. He is aligned with manager Igis Klimas. He comes into the ring already a two-division champion with a record of 6 wins, 1 loss, 4 big wins coming by way of knockout. Gogue, what are the strengths and weaknesses of the defending champion, Vasyl Lomachenko?
Well, number one, look at his big-time amateur pedigree, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, fought at the highest level. In worldwide amateur boxing, ranked number 1 in the world for the last 4 years. I know it's amateur, Joe, but this guy has fought every top level skill, top level style, and every top level competitive tournament in the last 5, 6, 7 years, and dominated and won these tournaments. Okay, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 2-time or 3-time world amateur champion. Joe, when that type of experience you can't buy, okay? You got to go through that to get that type of experience, okay? It's experience, Joe, not only in fighting on the big stage on the amateur scene, but fighting top-level talent. That's what I'm trying to say. So, like Emmanuel Stewart always told us, everything you're going to experience in the amateurs, all the adversities, all the, the high-level skill levels, different styles you're going to face in the amateurs, you're going to face them in the pros. So if you have that experience tucked away in your amateur background, well, guess what? It's going to help you out. You're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of pretty much the normal guy that turns pro that doesn't have all that experience. Plus, Lomachenko's done it at the highest levels. They haven't won at the highest levels, okay? He has that championship mentality, okay? That, to me, is important. But his physical attributes, Joe, it's his footwork. The best footwork I've seen in boxing, golly, I have never seen a guy move that gracefully, that what do you call it, that athletically, that, what do you call it, Joe? Like Barry Sanders just glides in the ring, in and out of range, in circles. Always has that ability to get the angle on you where he doesn't get hit back, but he can attack you offensively and everything, Joe. His footwork is just immaculate, highly skilled. He knows what he's doing in the ring all the time with his footwork, Joe, where he's at. And when he's in a position where, there's a high probability like he's by the ropes and he's going to get hit, he'll move around you real quick, okay? When he throws his combinations, Joe, what I think I like about Lomachenko, he steps around you, okay? He always has that lead leg out on the outside of his opponent's lead leg to pivot around to his right in circles, at angles, okay? And he does it so beautifully, so smooth, okay? So what do you call it, Joe? So athletically gifted, the way he does it, just, you know what I mean? Like a what do you call it? Like a ice skater, turning circles or moving or gliding on ice. Yeah, that's the way that Lomachenko moves. So effortlessly, the way mantequilla, like butter and everything. And that's his strength. Everything starts with his footwork. He knows when to move in and out of range. Okay, he'll attack you. He'll put the pressure on you with good. That's another thing he got going, Joe. He's got great head and upper body movement, great reflex to slip your punches and counter effectively. Especially he likes if he throws that lead jab, you better watch out for that sharp left counter left hand coming right down the middle. Okay, he does that very, very proficiently, like he did Rocky Martinez. Every time Rocky Martinez, he got lazy with that jab, Lomachenko slipped it to his left and countered with a left hand right back down the middle, beautifully. Just, immaculate, Joe, his defense, his head and upper body movement, his ability to counter off your misses, his ability to move in and out of range just to throw your timing and rhythm off. He knows when to put his foot on that pedal, Joe, okay? And he knows when to back off and move in circles, move at angles, okay? And that's all, Joe. This guy, I'm telling you, probably one of my top 2 or 3 fighters in boxing to watch. He's a must-see fighter I like to see when he's fighting on HBO. And his offensive attack, Joe, is just beautiful. Just mixes up his combinations, beautifully. Like Canelo, he's a creative combination puncher, okay? To the body and head and body, okay? He does it beautifully, Joe. He knows when to attack that body when he has to. He knows when to attack the head. Then he'll sneak them little hooks right back down to the body. And he has that sneaky left uppercut he likes to throw to the body, too. Like I said, Joe, he's just a beautiful, creative combination puncher to the head, body, head, and he mixes up the variations of its attack. That's, Joe, to me, that's what makes this guy so hard to fight. You don't know what he's going to do. He mixes up his variation of his attack, offensively and defensively. And he always keeps you off balance with that footwork, pivoting around you, turning you in circles. Oh, my God. Nicholas Walters, he's in for an ass whooping this Saturday. Biblical proportions.
Well, I tell you what, you don't want to give away the prediction until the end of the segment, Gogue, but I tell you what, Nicholas Walters, seen him several times fight in person. This guy's a beast. He's a he started out as a very big featherweight, and he has the slight size advantage going into this matchup as well. Let's read off the tape of Nicholas, the Axeman Walters. He'll come into the ring at age 30. He fights out of the orthodox stance. He stands 5'7" tall in the center of the ring. He fights behind a 73-inch reach. He was born and currently resides out of Montego Bay, Jamaica. He comes into the ring with an undefeated resume, 26 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 21 big wins coming by way of knockout. Gogue, tell you what, this will officially be his second fight at 130 pounds. His first fight, which was a controversial draw, in which I thought he deserved to get the victory over current WBO or WBA Super Featherweight title holder Jason Sosa, who's going to be who's going to be fighting, I guess, on or who just fought, who just made his very first title defense just a couple of weeks ago in Monte Carlo. Gogue, what are the strengths and weaknesses of Mr. Nicholas Walters?
Joe, this guy's a solid fighter. He's also got good footwork, Joe. He likes to also use his footwork to move in and out of range. He's long, he's rangy, he's explosive, sharp counter puncher with that right hand, sharp counter puncher with that check left hook, sharp counter puncher with that right uppercut. Okay, those are his combinations when he's pressing you, Joe. Okay, when he's pressing the attack in that high guard defense, and that's how he likes to fight southpaws. He throws the combinations of the body and head. Head and body, head, body, up and down, down and up, okay? And he does, like Lomachenko, he's also a creative combination puncher. He doesn't have a limited variation to his attack, like you saw Andre Ward or Sergey Kovalev the other night, okay? When he attacks you offensively, he has a lot of different variations to his game, the way he attacks you, okay? When he's taking the lead with his combination punching to the body, head or body, or when he's countering you with countering you, especially if you lean in, okay, and you leave yourself open to that counter right uppercut, like he did, like when he dropped Vic Darchinian, okay, very, very sneaky right uppercut. He'll try to catch you in. He'll try to catch Lomachenko if Lomachenko gets off balance and kind of like rushes in and leaves himself exposed to that right uppercut. Also that check left hook. Real sneaky, Joe. You initiate the offense, and you come in there, and your right hand's low. He'll check you with that left hook. Okay, real quick. Okay, it's not wide. It's just short, sharp, and explosive. And of course, that sneaky right hand because he's so long. He's got good length on his arms and everything. He can hit you with that right hand at long range. Sneak it in there and everything. And he's got that long, quick. Jab and the touch jabs he likes to use, and the roll counter right hands he likes to use. He'll roll that shoulder and counter with the right hand. He'll roll the shoulder, counter you with the right uppercut, and the different variations of body shots he likes to hit you with. The uppercuts, the right hooks to the body, the right uppercuts, the left uppercuts to the body, the left hooks to the body. Oh, and the angles he likes to pivot at to hit you with body shots. Yeah, this guy's solid, Joe. This guy's solid, but the difference is the high level of skill when it comes to footwork, and that's why I give Lomachenko the advantage, and his great variations of his defense. The great head and upper body movement, and Lomachenko's variation of his jabs he throws at you. A lot of touch jabs, a lot of hard jabs, and Lomachenko his ability to change the target he hits with that jab. He just doesn't just aim for your head. He'll hit your chest, your stomach, stuff like that, just to keep you off balance. Oh, like I said, Joe, this is a highly skilled, a matchup of two highly skilled fighters, but one of them, I got to give the edge to because he brings more to the table than the other one.
Well, let's, obviously Vasyl Lomachenko merely needs to be Vasyl Lomachenko in this matchup, but in two different styles. In his very first title fight against Orlando Salido, he seemed to have a lot of trouble to someone who is actually proficient in closing the distance, cutting off the ring, putting that consistent pressure. But when he fought someone who is a pocket counterpuncher, well, he seemed to really have his way with it. I'm referring to his WBO title-winning effort against Gary Russell Jr. So what should we expect to see when he faces a guy who's seemingly a complete fighter like Nicholas Walters? And what does Vasyl Lomachenko have to do to be effective and successful in defending his title against the Axeman this Saturday night?
Like I said, just mix up the variation of his attack offensively. Move in, out of range, okay? Just don't move forward. Just don't come forward all the time like Jason Sosa, where you become predictable, and then you can. And then it's easy for a guy like Walters, who's a beautiful counter puncher when you come right at him, okay? That little roll counter right hands, the roll counter uppercuts, the body shots he counters with, the check left hooks, okay? If you're predictable and you keep coming straight ahead forward, you'll get tore up by Walters, okay? That's what he wants you to do. But if you're like Lomachenko, that moves in, out of range, okay? When you think he's coming in and you try to, counter him, he's back out of range where, where you're not going to hit him. And that messes your timing up as a fighter, okay? Okay, Andre Ward showed that the other night to Kovalev, just him moving out of range when Kovalev tried to get off, threw him off, threw his timing and rhythm off. And it's the same thing with Lomachenko, his ability to move in and out of range, not to get hit, and his ability to move in circles, move at angles, step into his right, pivoting to his right, in circles, okay? That gets him hit less. And also, Nicholas Walters, he fights best when you're right in front of him, okay? He can set his feet and work on the beautiful counters he likes to throw. But if he has to move his feet, reset himself, hey, you know what I mean? He's got to get back in the rhythm and everything, okay? He's got to, like Tito Trinidad. Tito Trinidad, if you're a guy that gives him movement, okay, the great Felix Tito Trinidad, if you give him a guy that gives him movement, well, he's got to turn. He's got to turn with you. He's got to set his feet before he can load those big left hooks. Well, it's the same thing with Walters. Lomachenko, he ain't going to let him get set to throw them beautiful counters. He's going to be stepping around them, moving in circles, moving in angles. He's going to be using his head and upper body movement to make Walters miss, after he throws. And one thing I notice about Lomachenko, he's got this great intuition on knowing when to put his foot on the pedal and knowing when to take his foot off the pedal. So when it's time to put the pressure, he's going to put it on Walters. How does he do it, Joe? Great head and upper body movement while he's using his footwork to shuffle in, okay, making you miss, putting that jab in your face, touching you a lot with that jab, hitting you with hard jabs to the body, hitting you with hard jabs to the head, and putting that touch jab back in your face, okay? It keeps you occupied, Joe. It keeps you on the defensive. Then once he gets in the range, he sees that you're not going to counter, then he puts his combinations together beautifully. Body, head, body, and you don't know what combination he's going to throw at you, unlike Sergey Kovalev, who's pretty predictable and limited. This guy has multi-variations of offensive attacks when he puts his foot on the pedal, okay? He's like a quarterback with 500 plays, okay? And you don't know which play he's going to be hit. He's going to be throwing at you. And that's the same thing with Lomachenko. When he puts that foot on the pedal and he knows that you ain't going to be able to counter, or you're not, or your timing and rhythm is disrupted because he disrupted it, then he's going to go on the offensive just like he did Gary Russell. And he's going to put his combinations beautifully together, body, head, body. And I really believe he's going to be working on them short left uppercuts to Nicholas Walters' liver, them short right hooks to his ribs. Yeah, then he's going to come back upstairs with the left hooks, okay, to the head. The right hooks to the head. After he throws them right hooks to the body, he's going to come back with that right hook to the head. Then he's going to come back with that left uppercut. Then he's going to come back with that right hook. The same combination he knocked out Rocky Martinez. Step back a little, left uppercut, right hook. Bam! Down goes Rocky Martinez, and the fight was over. And that's why I really believe he's going to do that, Joe. He's just going to multiple variations of his attack, offensively and defensively, and you don't know what he's coming with, Joe. And he mixes it up so beautifully, and he keeps you confused, keeps you guessing. You don't know what he's doing, and Joe, jeez, Nicholas Walters, you in trouble, baby. You in trouble.
Well, I tell you what, let's go to the keys to victory. seemingly for Nicholas Walters. Gogue, you pretty much painted the picture of a very, very, very difficult outing for Nicholas Walters. But in the sport of boxing, anything can and often does happen. What does Nicholas Walters have to do to be successful in the ring against Vasyl Lomachenko?
Like you said, Joe, in the sport of boxing, anything can happen. This Walters, he's explosive. He can hurt you. He can put you on your butt if she catches you coming in right with that right uppercut, okay? Because he is a sneaky counterpuncher, okay? And if you're not careful, you'll get caught by that counter right uppercut when you're coming in. If Lomachenko gets aggressive, okay, and he gets careless and leaves himself open for that counter right uppercut, he's going to get hit by it, or that check left hook, okay? And and Walters, he can punch, okay? He's a good puncher, explosive. That straight right hand, he'll like to counter on you when you come in. That little shoulder roll counter right hand, he'll catch you with. And if he hurts you, he's gonna jump on you. And he's a great finisher. That Walters, when he gets you hurt, he knows how to finish you. So that's the only way I could see him winning this fight, Joe, is to hurt Lomachenko, knock him out, because that's the only way he's gonna have to win. That's the only scenario I see him winning this fight. He's got to knock out Lomachenko, catch him with them sharp counters, and go for the kill, put him away. But the probabilities of that happening are very low. You know what I mean? As far as trying to play chess with Lomachenko, he's going to get checkmated. He's going to get checkmated real quick. All right? That's how good this Lomachenko is, man. Let me tell you, Joe. Everybody talks about Andre Ward. Now, he's good. But this kid plays chess on a different level than Andre Ward, okay? Why? Because he has more variations to his game offensively and defensively, okay? He has a lot more variations to his game than Andre Ward. This kid don't grab and hold and wrestle and kiss you on both cheeks, when he gets in the pocket, all right? This kid is a very, very proficient inside fighter. Now, when you saw him fight Salido, he didn't have that dimension to his game, okay? So he developed that since that Salido loss, okay? Okay, that's one thing he never had to do in the amateurs, Joe, fight in the pocket for long durations of time. Because in the amateurs, all he had to do was fight, 3 rounds? And, for 3 rounds, you can move and box, counterpunch. And he was fighting in that point scoring system back then where, you know what I mean, you can move around the ring for 3 rounds and, get your points, get out, move around. Well, in the pro game, it ain't that point scoring system. You're going durations. You're going. It's not a sprint like in the amateurs. It's a marathon, and and in the lower weight division, like I always said, Joe, you got to learn how to fight pressure fighters that are going to be bringing it to you for 12 rounds, and you got to learn how to fight in the pocket. And this Lomachenko, that's what he's done. That's one thing I noticed he has done since the Orlando Salido fight. He's developed his inside game proficiently. Better than I ever thought he would. And that's when he turned pro, Joe, that's what I wanted to see. And when I seen him fight that Jose Ramirez's first fight, I said, yeah, okay, yeah, I could see a little bit of it, but I didn't see a lot of it. But I thought he needed a couple more fights, to develop that skill set before he took on Orlando Salido. Okay, he went in. Right after that fight, he went on and took on Orlando Salido, and he wasn't ready for that tough physical pressure. I thought after that his pro debut, I thought he needed maybe a couple more fights, and he would be ready to fight a style like Orlando Salido. But he lived and learned. He learned from that loss. He grew from that loss, and that's why I say, Joe, I can't say he's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world because he hasn't beaten enough tough top-level guys, but he will. But as far as skill and technique, precision, and must-watch TV, oh, yeah, Joe, he's in my top 3 best fighters in the world right now, that Lomachenko.
Indeed, guys, and he is in my opinion, aside from the Gary Russell Jr. fight, because the Axeman can take the lead a little more proficiently than Gary Russell and has more pop, I think this will more than likely be his toughest test to date for Vasyl Lomachenko. So it's going to be really interesting to see what actually transpires. Gogue, what's your final prediction for this Saturday night's main event at the Cosmopolitan in Vegas? It's going to be televised on HBO. World Championship Boxing, and with a start time of 10:35 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Gogue, what's your final prediction for this fight? How do you see this playing out?
Vasyl Lomachenko, biblical beatdown, biblical proportions. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked him out, Joe. I'm serious. 8 rounds on, I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped this guy Walters. Yeah.
Oof, boy, that would be something, because Walters,
that would make a statement,
he is
Joe.
He's as physically and as mentally durable as it gets in the sport of boxing.
Yeah, but Joe, you got to understand, Aram's trying to sell that Pacquiao fight next year, okay? He needs a dominant performance, preferably a knockout against a top-level opponent like Nicholas Walters, okay? If he goes out there and looks spectacular and stops him, which I think he's going to do within 8 to 10 rounds, 11 at most, then, hey, that's that signature victory the kid needs to get the drums beating, okay? Now, will it sell the Pacquiao fight? Not yet. Maybe another 2 victories like that, then they'll get that fight hot, okay? Another 1 or 2 victories like that, you'll get that fight hot, okay? Where people were like, oh, my God, look at this Russian, okay? Where did he come from?
He's from the Ukraine, man. Come on now.
Ukraine, Russia. That fight will get hot, Joe. Okay, because Aram's already starting to promote that fight already. He's starting to, what do you call it? He's starting to put it in the oven and let it bake. But he needs great victories from Lomachenko his next 2 to 3 fights. This one, he's got to make a statement, okay? Bottom line, don't even worry about the next one. This fight, he's got to make a statement. Then if he does that, the drums will start beating. And if he gets those 2 wins, 1 or 2 wins more, the drums will start beating louder. And people, hey, Joe, that's how you make a pay-per-view hot. And the way Aram's doing it right now, what do you say? Out of hell with HBO. What do I need him? I'll do it myself. And if he does that, he'll save a lot of money. You know what I mean? He'll make a lot of money. He'll save a lot of money.
Indeed. Well, I tell you what, it's all going to depend, as far as Manny Pacquiao's next opponent in the spring, it's all going to depend on who creates the most buzz. Vasyl Lomachenko in his fight this Saturday night against Nicholas Walters, or on December 10th, Terrence Crawford facing John Molina Jr.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge. And guys, we just found out that on the undercard from Australia, they're going to be showing the vacant WBO heavyweight fight between Andy Ruiz and Joseph Parker. So good news for heavyweight fight fans, although I can't believe that fight is going to be for a major world title.
Joe, don't ruin the broadcast over that fight. Don't even bother talking about that fight and mix it in with this great fight. Okay?
Indeed. This sport is about levels.
Them guys are about 2 or 3 levels below. Them guys are 2 or 3 levels below these great fighters that are going to be fighting this Saturday night. It's like
indeed,
the JV
guys.
Football.
Indeed.
It's like the JV football team and the varsity football team. Yeah.
My apologies, then, James.
Don't even mention them guys.
I
on
tell
the
you
same
what.
level.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Tune in this Saturday night at 10:35 Eastern and Pacific to Vasyl Lomachenko defending his WBO Super Featherweight title against Nicholas Walters on HBO Championship Boxing. You're listening to War Week Radio. On behalf of James Gogue, 3-decade fight trainer, I am Joseph Herron. And, guys, enjoy the fights this weekend.